The emotion of sex brings into being a state of mind. Because of ignorance on the subject, this state of mind is generally associated with the physical. And because of the improper influences to which most people have been subjected in acquiring knowledge of sex, things essentially physical have highly biased the mind. The emotion of sex has back of it the possibility of three constructive potentialities, and they are the perpetuation of mankind or procreation, the maintenance of health as a therapeutic agency, it has no equal, and the transformation of mediocrity into genius through transmutation. And that's from the book Think and Grow Rich. I talked about it on a previous video. What I've learned, I've been on a journey, and I guess you can call it retention of seed. I guess you can call it uh, personal mastery. But what I have found that as a man, one of the most important things we must have is self-control. But as I've stated before, who really steps in and teaches men about self-control? We hear all about self-discipline. It's the ability to keep going, to stay the course. Usually it's in the field of athletics. But how about in the area of the sex energy? And I kind of hesitated making this video and I thought about it. Is this something that I want to share being a man of faith? And I can tell you this, I have done too fast as it relates to sex. And when I say fast, the same way people do a whole month of a fast. When we talk about the 21-day fast, men have to learn how to do fast when it comes to their urges. So the first fast I did, you get clarity when you do these, right? When you do these fasts, it's a spiritual experience. And the first thing that I heard was revelation that was given to me is the world economic system is corrupt. And it's interesting that that came to me at a time when I was wanting to help people in the area of personal finances. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I'm a 20-year-old high school graduate. But as I stand in front of you today or sit in front of you today, I have a perfect 850 credit score. I have accumulated a good amount of savings and just growing financial literacy. I've done a lot of that through looking at videos on YouTube and reading books. But I've also hesitated with that. So that was this confirmation that this system, this economic system, is flawed. And a lot of it is geared towards power and greed and things that aren't healthy. But it's also backed by sexual energy, right? Because some of our wealthiest people in the world, they're driven by the emotion of sex and the energy of sex. So I did a second fast, sexual fast. And this one was just a little bit longer. But during this fast, I heard what came to me was more revelation. And the revelation that came this time was the human race has abused or has misused sex. So I had to delve a little bit deeper into that to what that may mean. And I was already beginning to study as I go along my journey of self-mastery and overcoming these strong sexual impulses. Now, I'm a married man, but I've never strayed from my relationship, but I've still enjoyed my share of adult content, with the thought being that I'm not hurting my relationship because I'm not stepping out and having relationships behind my partner's back. But there are some impacts that we experience as men when we engage in watching adult content, because it isn't the real deal and it really is just a quick fix. But then when we have experiences with our partners, there is a trickle effect that happens because of the fact that we're not really engaged in the activity. But getting back to the point that I started with in reading the book, the emotion of sex is powerful. There's no getting around of it. No getting around it. Is one of the most powerful emotions that we have. When you think about this, what it does is it has cost great and powerful men. It's cost them their fortunes. It's cost them their freedom. And it's even cost them their lives. Now, so that second revelation that I had around sex being misused, we have to remember that this is for procreation. But I think that most of the time when it's happening, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, because the creator is, his wisdom is infinite. He knew that in order for humans to want to create more of the highest form of life, we would have to enjoy it. We wouldn't want to enjoy it if it felt like, pardon me, sandpaper. Neither party would enjoy that, right? So the creator said this is going to be enjoyable, but we focused on it being just enjoyable. So when that happens, men are hooking up, women are hooking up, and there is no love, which is the most important thing. And I'm not here to preach to you about that. There's no plan and there is no expectancy, right? So when a farmer, think about it like this: when a farmer plants a seed, he plants it with an expectation. He plants it with a plan. He plants that seed with love, with the expectation that he's going to reap something great back. But when we get into sex, something's going to be created. Even if you're not procreating, you're creating something. Toxic in, toxic out. Drama in, drama out. And that's the reason why we see instances of baby mama drama and baby daddy drama. But we got to think about what this means. And I'm not telling people to be prudes. I'm saying understand, get yourself educated, because the education we need in this area, I think it has the ability to heal the world. A lot of our men from economically stressed environments don't know how to channel this energy. And because they don't know how to channel this energy, they end up hurting themselves and they hurt each other and they hurt the females that they get into relationships, because again, no one is there to teach them these things. You have to learn. And it takes a man, because the man, as I've said before, drives so much of the relationship experience, and men drive so much of the sexual experience. When you really think about it, once a woman says yes, and a woman has to say yes for it to be consensual, from that time on, for the most part, the men, we are in control of the entire intimate experience up to and including the end, because it's going to end when a man releases. He's done, because there's something called a refractionary period. But I just, again, wanted to talk about that. I think it's such an important topic. I think we have to begin to advance and increase our knowledge, because again, there's the possibility and there's the potential to bring healing. What we don't understand, we will abuse and misuse. So I'm going to share these messages as I continue to go on my journey, and hopefully to help someone else out. Now, I'm not bashing men, I'm not bashing women. I'm saying we come together so that we can grow and we can become our ultimate best self. So with that, I just want to end this video. If you found any value, please like, click subscribe, and share comments. How do you feel? What do you think? Do you feel like you were taught in the area of sex and the power that it has on the mind and on our lives? I like to hear about it in the comments. But with that, I'm going to close, and I'm going to remind you to own your mind, own your money, and own the keys to the bank.